So, hi guys, welcome to the next Blender tutorials. So today we're going to be working on metal imperfections, adding things to metal and then working in layers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with a cube and I'm going to start off with a couple of other things as well, just so you guys can see the effects on some different objects, and hopefully you can apply this to your own projects. I haven't done a video in about a month, primarily because we've had a lot of heat waves over here in the UK, and it's not so much the heat that gets you, but it's the humidity. And trying to get my computer to run certain things and trying to get enough air circulation within the office has just been absolutely horrendous. Usually my office is the coldest place in my house. The radiator doesn't work, so you know, in winter it's absolutely perishing freezing. Yeah, so what we're going to do today, we're going to be making a couple of things. I'm going to start off with some small items first because it is pretty warm still in here, but it's not quite as warm as it was yesterday. Yeah, I went out for a walk yesterday and I couldn't stand the heat. It was just like, woof. So, yeah, we'll get started with this project. Let's start off with first the default cube and then we'll work from there. Okay, I'm just checking that I've got the screencast keys on here for you guys so that you can see what I'm pressing, because I've gone through a lot of projects where I've not pressed the screencast key and then I've realised afterwards and I've had to go back in and edit everything, and it's just horrendous. So what we've primarily got here for 4.5, this is a new download actually, this is the new version of it. So we've got the camera right here, if you didn't know what the camera was. This is this little box thing right here that's highlighted in orange. And then we've got the light right here. So what we want to do first and foremost is go to your render tab just at the side here, if you can see where my mouse is. And then we're going to go from Eevee and we'll switch this up to cycles. I do all of my stuff in cycles. So the next thing that we want to do, I'm just going to go ahead and show you how this works just in case you're new to Blender. So if we go up here to where the tab is and we click the little circle that's right at the end right here, this is the render tab. So this is the lighting, how it would look. So if I go to render up at the top right here and render image, we see that we have just a standard cube right here, and it's rendered in pretty quickly. We've got a couple of samples still to go, but you can get the primary idea of how that works. So to make these metal kind of looks, what we're going to do, generally I'll keep this to English. Generally I do write all of my stuff in another language on here, so say if I do colours and stuff like that, I'll do different colours in different languages, but primarily I'll do the colours in English because obviously this tutorial's in English. So this is the shading tab that I've just clicked on right here. Let's get into this. So if we click onto our object and we just press shift, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the center scroll on my mouse. For some reason I can't get the screencasting keys on this tab. If anyone knows how to do that, please inform me, because it would be absolutely brilliant to know how to do that. If I can do it from here, that would be good. See, screencasting keys are turned on, but if I press anything, nothing appears. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain on this, to be honest with you. So this little bit right here, if you need to move this around, just press shift and center scroll, and you notice that we can move this around. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move myself out of the way because I realise that I am right dead center in the middle of the screen. And I'm also going to turn off this rerun as well because it's not a rerun. I accidentally put that on. Let's get that off. That's for the live streaming. I use the same software for my live streaming that I do for this. So sometimes I have settings. I do have groups of settings, but clearly I missed one. So let's go on with principal BSDFs, which is the natural thing that we should have, and material output. Now if we click on this object and we go to material, you'll see that we've got the original material right here. I'm just going to go, let's go original. So we've got this original material that's right here. I'm just going to put ORI for that one. And what I'm going to do, because we want to make some metal kind of stuff, is I'm just going to go ahead and render this viewport shading. And I'm going to make this a gold, just to begin with. So we want to get somewhere, sweet spot, between yellow and red. Maybe just a little bit of green coming over, but just maybe about there. So if you need to copy this colour as well, you can see that we've got the hue, saturation, all this kind of stuff, RGB. And also the hex right here is the exact colour that I'm using. So if you type that into yours, you'll be able to get the exact same colour, the exact same shade. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to go for the metallic. Let's turn this up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and add a plane underneath it so that we can get this reflection scene, so to speak. So just to get your plane, if I just get rid of that plane 1 second, I'll show you how to do this. So we want a nice little reflection on it so we can see what's going on with the object itself. So if we go to add, we're going to go mesh, plane. You'll notice that it's in the middle right here. So we're just going to press G, hold down your center scroll wheel, and you can go up, you can go sideways, you can go this way. We're going to go down to make sure that this is underneath the cube. And then I will press S and we will scale out. So now you can see that we've got this nice little shadow going on, we've got this nice little cube going on. And what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to add a green screen ball. So you can add green screen balls, you can put cones, you can put whatever you'd like. So we're going to go UV sphere for this example. We press G and we can bring this across. If your computer's struggling at the moment, what I would suggest is you see this tab right here. Just go to wireframe, or you can go to this one or this one, but primarily I'm on this one. So once we get this, what we can do is we can just go to new, and you see that we have material right here. I'm just going to put this as green screen. So this will be bright green. This is primarily what I do for reflections. What I'll do, I'll place in either a very bright pink object or a very bright green object, so that when I've got anything that's reflective, I can then pass it by the reflective objects to see if I like the kind of reflection that I've got. So what I'm going to do, this is green right here. So you can see already there's a little bit of green in here. So if I take down this roughness on this object, we can now see that we've got this nice green sphere at the back. Now if I make this a little bit smaller, we can now work on this surface. So to scroll inwards, we can see that we've got this nice little green right here. Now if you wanted to make this a kind of metal kind of look, with little bits on here, let's just, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click the cube. We've got the BSDF right here, the material output. We have base color, we have metallic, we have roughness, we have IOR, and we have alpha. And then we've got all of these options right here. Now you can tweak with all of these options. You can see what you'd like and you can see what you want. And just basically experiment with it. Primarily this is how I learnt Blender. Experiment with absolutely everything and you'll find things that maybe you didn't think that you would come across. So let's go with add. And we will go, you can type this in actually. So we'll go with color ramp. So color ramp. When we place this here, if we go colour to base colour, you see that it turns silver. Now, you can darken this, and you can also lighten this by moving these two tabs across. Now, if you wanted to, you could add, let's go with a noise texture. So, I'm going to make a kind of bumpy silver, so let's go with noise. Noise texture, you've got white noise texture, you've got regular noise texture. You want the regular noise texture. We're going to go with colour and just plug that in to the side right there. Now you see that you have all these little kind of bumps going on, these little imperfections. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bring the black forward a little bit. You'll notice that it darkens in places, and then if you bring the white forward a little bit, you've got less imperfections. Now, if you wanted to, you can make this gold again, because obviously we've used base colour. Now if you take this colour right here, this colour ramp, and you take it from base colour and you change it into roughness, this is what it's going to look like. So if we take down this white a little bit, and we've got the dark, you see how that changes right there? And you can see the ball just slightly reflected in the back here. So now if I turn up the black just a little bit, you can see that the ball appears. And if we just add those little imperfections again, we can see that maybe somebody didn't shine the mirror properly, or maybe it's been bumped or something like that, you know what I mean? Wear and tear. If you have ever played Star Wars, Force Awakens, or I don't think Force Unleashed does it, but Force Awakens, is it Force Awakens? I'm thinking now, like, no, Jedi Order. Jedi Order, which I don't know which one I was thinking about then. Force Awakens, what am I thinking about? Jedi Order. You can actually do imperfections on the lightsaber. So yeah, I don't know whether Force Unleashed does it. I think you can change stuff on Force Unleashed, but it's different to Jedi Order. So Jedi Order, you can have something as brand new, you can have something as marked up, you can have something as damaged, and kind of have that kind of that aesthetic to it. So with this in particular, we now have these little bumps on here. So if we take the noise texture, we can actually turn the roughness up, if that's something that you wanted. So now we have this kind of texture, and you can still see that green ball right there. So if we take the roughness down, it becomes blobs. You see how that detail works right there? We could go ahead and, I can't even pronounce that one, the second one up. So yeah, we could go ahead and move this, so we can kind of have this kind of bumpy texture going on. You can still see the ball right there, and we could distort this. We have these funky little patterns on it, so maybe this is more of an incidental kind of thing. You see how that works right there? Okay, so the detail, we could pull that up as well. You know what, I'm going to make multiple cubes for this. So let's go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and scale this down, so we can have some bumps on that one. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to go to add. You can do Shift D if you want to, but we could just go to add, and we could go cube. Notice that it's turned black because it's two objects on top of one another. We're going to go with G. Just press G, hold down your center scroll, and we'll bring this across. What I'm going to do as well, let's go into layout actually. So we've got the first cube right here, we've got the second cube right there. Shift D, we can take this one. Again, it's two objects on top of each other. So we're going to go ahead and just drag that across. I wanted to show you this because I can now get the key strokes on there, the key log kind of thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take this one, let's take all three, and we're going to go Shift D, just bring them up, and this will be our canvas to try different things with, because I'm going to teach you the bump technique as well. So if we just bring these up, so now if you notice, these three in the middle are all gold. So to get rid of this gold, all we're going to do is go to your materials section. Let's see, make sure that you just have the one cube selected. We're going to go to this material right here, which says Ori, which is for the original. I'm just going to go minus. Click this one, and we just click the minus again. So now we have all of these cubes right here. We have 8 other, is it? No, sorry, 7. Wait, so yeah. Yeah, 8 cubes. I don't know why, like, my brain was saying 7 then, like, I don't know where I got 7 from, but yeah, 8 cubes. We got the 9 cubes all together. So, what we're going to do, I'm not going to leave that one down. So, what we're going to do is we've got this one right here with all the little bumps on it. We're going to take the next one, and we can do these in different styles as well. So, we're going to go new. Go to your material right here, if you can see it. And we're going to go for green. So this one is going to be kind of like a green gold. So we're just going to go select, hold selects down so you can get both of them, drag them across. We're going to go add. And then what I'm going to do is, for this one in particular, I'm going to go colour ramp. Colour spelled the American way, by the way. Colour ramp, just right there. And what we're going to do is we've got that nice little grey and we've got that nice little white. What we're going to do with that one is we're going to go plus and we can add the green in the middle. So right now it doesn't really mean anything because the green is just kind of like a really lime green. We're going to turn up the metallic, turn down the roughness, and now we have this nice little shine, this nice little green going on. So what I can now do is, we've got all these textures that we can put on here. We've got brick texture, we've got checker texture, environment texture, and we have Voronoi texture. I'm going to use Voronoi texture, colour to the FAC. I noticed that we've got all these little bumps coming up right here. So what we want to do with this is, you can do whatever you'd like with this one. I'm going to turn mine up just a little bit. The roughness is turned down. If we put this onto the roughness right here, you'll see that this is how that it turns out. It turns to more of a silver. If we put this on the metallic, it doesn't really do much on the metallic, but base colour definitely does some more stuff. So I'm just going to turn the green up just here a little bit. We've still got that nice little reflection going on. You can rough this up in parts. And what we can also do is we can add a bump node. Now a bump node is going to allow us to have a little bit of texture to this. So if we go add and we just type in bump. Now usually, as I remember it, I'm going to get this wrong every single time. Like, I do this every single time. Usually I would put it here, but then it turns to here. Just 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Right. I messed up. So I always get confused with where the bump is supposed to go on here. So I think it's always supposed to be here, kind of thing. So you can just see that we've got these little cracks just coming up right here. So you can go ahead and experiment with this a little bit. You can go strength, you can go norm. Let's go with height. Just bring this black in a little bit. And we can change this from base colour to roughness. So we can kind of have a little bit of roughness going on. You can see these little kind of imperfection stripes coming across. So what I generally use that technique for is, if say I've got a piece of, I don't know, let's say a car or something like that, you put in texture to a car, you could have little scratches on it as if it's been racing. So you could actually scale this down, or you could scale this up if you wanted to. You see how that's kind of moving right there? We've got all these little kind of scratches. That's the kind of thing that I'm aiming for. You can't really see them as well whilst I'm doing it on here, but there's little scratches on there. I don't know whether you can see that on your side. I'm kind of looking at the recording side and kind of going like, is it showing up on your side? But yes, there are little scratches and imperfections on there. So let's move on to the next one. If you wanted green with that as well, you could also change the colour right here. So we've kind of got this nice little green with little scratches on it. We've got this nice little kind of gold with little pieces on it. And then maybe we'll go for a silver on this side. Let's go with new. Just press shift and then click. Oh, what's going on here? Right, here we go, shift, and then we're just going to move them across with the center scroll wheel. Let's go with add. And maybe for this time we will have bevel. Let's try bevel. Go into the corner right here. Notice that we've got all these kind of shades. So what we could do with this, instead of going base colour, we could go roughness. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go add, because we've now taken out the base colour, we need to add the colour back in. So again, colour ramp, spot the American way. Where are we at? Right, here we go. Okay, so you can set it in between there, or let's see what happens if we plug it into this side. So it kind of gets a little bit deeper. So I guess you could have 2 colour ramps on here as well, just to make that a little bit more prominent. Let's go with colour ramp. We could bring that in just at the sides there, so it looks a little bit more beveled on the sides. And what I want to really do is stripes going downwards. So we'll do that on the next one. Let's see, let's bring up this metallic just a little bit. Bring this roughness down, and we can see that we've got the nice little ball here. So you could use this kind of texture for, say, like the side of buildings or something like that. Say if you've got skyscrapers and you want something that's reflective, but you can't see into it. Also, you can mess with your alpha. Say like you've got a skyscraper and you want to be able to see inside. If we just remove the alpha just a little bit, now we have this object that is now slightly see-through. If we change the IOR, we can now make it a little bit more shinier. We can just edit that just a little bit. Okay, so what I really want to do is a bump texture. Let's move on to this one. So we're going to go with new. Just shimmy this over to the side. I didn't give that one a name actually. 1 second. So this one we could just go with obsidian. Yeah. Okay. So with this one in particular, we could go stripe, metal. So with this one in particular, what I want to do is I want to get brick texture. So if we go with brick texture right here, click this on, color to base color, we get all these nice little lines going on. Now, what you can do with this, if you wanted kind of a stripy metal, almost like it's been cut, or it's I don't know what you'd call it, but some metals, when you get them, they've kind of got all this kind of sheen across the top of it. So with this one in particular, what we could do, we could have a brick texture just there. We could change up the roughness just a little bit, make the metallic up. And what we could do, we could have the brick texture right there, and we could add, let's go with noise texture. We'll place this one right here. We'll go colour, and maybe into the metallic, just slightly. Oh, sorry, into the roughness. So now we've kind of got these little bumps going on. It's kind of, this metal's got some imperfections going on. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to scroll out of this, shift again, just move it up. So now we've got this nice little roughness going on. We've got this brick texture. Just going to go ahead and change up the metallic right there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see what's going on under the hood, so to speak. Let's go with color ramp. Yeah, I'm going to go with color ramp. Place this one right here. We go plus. Going to get it to kind of a nice little goldy silver kind of colour. Oh, when my computer plays ball. Like a bronze. There we go. Right, so the metallic's up. I'm also going to change this black to more of a lighter shade. Let's kind of get some browns in there maybe. And this white right here, kind of make this some more of a goldy colour. And then we've got the silver as well that we can just adjust. Maybe give it some green. Maybe it's a metal that's started to get a little bit funky. So what we can do with this now, we've got the metallic all the way up. Let's see. We can add a bump to this, actually. Maybe a bit of a sheen. So, let's go with add and we'll go bump. Bump texture right there. We could put the bump right here if you wanted to, between the noise and that, which will give us this nice little effect right here. It's almost like it's straight and these lines have kind of been put onto it. Alternatively, we could backtrack that. We could put the bump in here, I believe. And you could bring out this. Now, if you wanted the two of these to kind of coincide, what we can do is we can go to add and we can go, I believe it's mix. So let's see, yeah, factor A, factor B. So what you want to do, factor A, you want the top line where we've got this nice little kind of brick texture going on. Factor B is this one where you're adding the roughness. So you can actually change that to factor B right there. So if you change out the factors just here, it should change between the two of them. Let's get rid of this one. And you could also, if you really wanted to, take this noise texture and put it to 1. And we can also change down the strength of the bump as well. So you've kind of got this little kind of lines going across it and a little bit of a bump texture. Personally, for me, I don't really like this one. I just don't think it sits right, but if you wanted some sort of metal that had bumps going across it and stuff like that, I mean, totally up to you what you want to do with it. So there's these little imperfections that are just running down the outside. I'm just going to go ahead and scale this up. So we've got a little bit more detail with that. You could also, if you really wanted to, mess around with different stuff. So if I just put this as 0, just experimenting with this at the moment. So we've got a few lines that are going across. We could do row height. You've got distortion. So you see how some of the lines have actually got, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but let's try and just spin that round a little bit. You see how this has got a little bit of texture on it, this part doesn't. This has got texture, these parts don't. So this is a really kind of nice technique if you wanted some patterns. I think you'd be able to see it better there. So this is kind of like sci-fi kind of building and stuff like that. You could also do distance, make it a little bit more prominent. You could go ahead and scale it down if you wanted to, so you have more lines. You see where I'm getting at with this. It's kind of a trusted process kind of build on that one. So this one is striped metal. So the next one that we could do, since we've got these 4, I'm going to go ahead actually and place another 2 of these, I think. So maybe if I take this one, just press G, bring it across, Shift D, bring that one across, just so that we can get some of these reflections that you guys can see what's reflecting and what's not. So if we go Shift D, bring this up, Shift D, bring this up. So when we turn this back on, if we just go to layout mode a moment and then just go to full render, we now have these nice little bits right here. So we could also add different lighting as well. We could get these in different kind of shades. So we've got this nice little green kind of teal going on with some bump. We've got this black obsidian right here. We've got these little kind of imperfections on a mirror kind of going on here. And then we have the kind of sci-fi stripy continuum kind of thing that's going on. So I think the next one, I'm thinking we could do patterns. I think we could work with some sort of patterns. So It's going to go back to regular render just for a moment. Even you can see it there on this one. Nice black obsidian. Nice little ripple effects. Teal. Let's go back to shading. I wish my screen was just like a little bit bigger so that I could show you guys what's going on. Let's see. Let's take this down just a little bit. Right, so this one we're going to go new. We'll go pattern. I kind of want to do white patterns with a black mirror. That might actually look real cool. So yeah, I'm just going to move this crash just on this side. Let's go to add. We need a texture. Let's see what Gabor texture does. Some of these I haven't actually worked with. So it kind of does the same as this, but you don't really get the stripes that much. Let's see, orientation. That is actually a pretty cool one if you wanted to do kind of a crunchy kind of metal. Tell you what, we'll work with that one on the next one. Let's go to add. We'll do texture. You've got wave texture. You've got magic texture. Yeah, I think it's the best thing to do with the software is just kind of experiment. I don't think that one's going to work for us. Let's go with noise. Noise texture right here. Go across, and we're going to distort. So we've got this nice kind of 80s kind of psychedelic thing going on. Let's shade this down. And it's kind of the same as this one at the bottom, but I kind of want to do a black and white theme. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do color ramp. Color ramp. Where are you at? Right, there we go. Color ramp. So now we've got black and white. I'm just going to tone this black up a little bit, and I'm going to tone this white up a little bit, so we've got this nice little contrast going on. Let's distort this a little further. Say just about here. Okay, so the metallic side of things. Let's just turn that up. Just turn this brightness down. What I'm going to do, just go on full render. So we've got the white as being the most reflective here. So what I'm going to do, let's go and experiment a bit. So there you go. Put the colour ramp to the metallic rather than the base colour. Base colour is going to be white. And you want to make sure that these two really contrast. Just on the colour ramp right here. So now we've got this nice little mirror going on with black, and then we've got the white underneath. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to place, let's go with, tone down that black a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and just put this as a white, just to define that white a little bit more. Just at the back there. You could add a blue to this if you wanted, like a kind of blue tint. So that would be your kind of black and white edition. So with this one, we said that we were going to go with a certain filter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go new, and we'll do, I'm going to put this as EX for experiment. And let's add in this texture shader, and I think we were with Gabor. Correct me if I'm wrong, it was Gabor. I haven't worked with this one, this is why this is an experiment one. Let's see. So we can do this metallic, roughness. I'm going to do base colour. Take this roughness down, this metallic up, because we're doing metals. So now we kind of have this kind of hazy kind of metal. What I'm going to do is let's add a magic texture to the roughness. Ho, I like this. So, I like this a lot. So we now have this nice little kind of magic texture going on. So what we can do with the Gabor and this magic texture, we can actually add the colour ramp. Just place that right here. we could kind of phase off some of this if you wanted to, or you could just keep it the way that it is. Maybe bring this white up. So we kind of have the same effect as the other side. We've got metallic all the way up. If we put base colour to metallic, nothing happens. Okay, if we put this base colour to alpha. Right, so, I mean this one is an experimental one anyway. Let's go plus and we'll add a nice little blue in there. So we've got these blue stripes coming down right here. If we scale this up, we can get even more blue stripes. Or we could just have like one blue stripe. Maybe. You're kind of making a scene where there's some rust or something like that coming down the metal. So this is a great way to put little bits of rust in there as well. I like that magic texture. If we remove this magic texture, this is what we've got. We've got this kind of rusty kind of mirror. So what I'll do, let's make rust on the next one as well. Let's try this one. We want to make this a rusty, kind of old, scratched up mirror. So we're going to go new. I'm going to type in rusty, old, scratched mirror. Yeah. So let's bring this across. I'm just trying to think the best texture for this one. So we want to go with metallic, but we also want that nice little rust thing going on. So I believe that the texture that we just had was the Gabor texture. So if we do value to base color, and what we will do is we'll add the color ramp. So we've got this going on, and we can go plus, and then this central colour that we've got right here, we can change this to kind of a brown kind of colour. Metallic up, roughness down. Just bring that white up a little bit. So we do have this nice little reflection, but we've got this kind of, I don't know, something maybe leaked over the top of it. There's little imperfections even. Just kind of shade that out a little bit. Maybe you're traversing through an old ship and there's mirrors, and you want to get that kind of water, that stagnant water that kind of drips down. This will be a great effect for that one. And maybe you want to make the mirror a little bit rougher, a little bit more dirtier. So to make it look dirty, we could go ahead and we could go noise. Let's go noise texture right here. Just place it at the bottom. Change up your colour to your roughness. Or we could have it like this. Maybe over the years it's just become very horrendously, how could you put it, dirty, maybe. Trying to think of the words. Yeah. Bring that down there. Make it a little bit smaller. Let's go roughness. You can change up the roughness if you wanted to. So yeah, maybe it's a very dirty mirror. If we take the roughness and we can put it in the IOR or the alpha, you could do it like that. Alternatively, if you wanted to, we could disconnect that one and we can do a mix. We can place the mix right here. We go ahead and put this one right here. Go ahead and put this one right here. Just turn off that. Just basically mess around with the different settings, see what you can do, see what happens. Let's see A, and we can put that one as B. Okay, maybe not. The results. Let's put the space color. Yeah. Okay, so that kind of works. So I got them the wrong way round. A should be B, B should be A. Not very organised on that side. Okay, so now we've got this nice little texture going on, and the best thing about it as well, we've also got this kind of oil slick to it. Now, if you wanted to get rid of this oil slick, just come down to this section right here, we could, in theory, put another colour ramp. So we could go add, and we could go colour ramp. Colour to vector, and it'll change it to this. Now, if we go a little bit more with the black, oops. Oh, we have a crash. Oh, I think I hit the wrong button here. Okay, so we couldn't get to the other two cubes. I will try. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we have a crash. See what I mean? Like, I think my computer's just getting way too overheated. It's you know, we still got a heat wave going on outside, but apparently we've crashed. So that might be the end of this tutorial, but please continue experimenting with your own cubes. Yeah, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright.